What's going on, everyone? Thanks so much for tuning in to the 1010 Studios product review. My name is Terrence. I'm your humble host. So glad you can join us today. We are going to be talking about the Alto Professional TS310 speaker. And this is going to be for a number of different type of events. If you're looking to purchase a speaker or a speaker system, this hopefully will help you out in your decision-making process. And we are going to be talking about this from a actual user standpoint. I've purchased a pair of these speakers, so I have a little insight on how they work, how they sound to at least me, and hopefully this will help you in making your decision on making some purchases down the road. Now, this particular speaker is going to be for a number of different event types and a number of different sound professionals, musicians, things of that nature. So we're going to talk first about the specs of the speaker. If you haven't seen or heard about it, here it is. And this will give you an idea of what the speaker is capable of. Now, we always recommend to buy speakers in pairs. And in most cases, we like for you to consider buying the matching speakers to it to make sure they're paired well. Now, some people buy different brands of tops, which these are considered. And then they'll have different bottoms, which are known as subs or subwoofers. For various reasons, they might like the certain sound of certain speakers, but to each his own. So definitely choose very carefully, choose wisely. If you have the ability to sample it, test it out in a local music shop or professional audio shop, please do so. This way you don't have to purchase and return and kind of have to go back and forth with that kind of lugging it around. Now, I'm not going to bore you with the details of the specs here. You can see them very clearly here. The main thing I want to point out in this area, though, is going to be the overall power rating for this. Now, it's not always about watts. It's about the continuous speaker sound that you're going to get from it based upon your needs, and also the EQ settings if need be, and some other factors. So as you can see here, it's a 2,000 watt peak, and on the low side you have a continuous of 650. On the high side you have a continuous of 350 on a constant basis. This is a 10-inch woofer, so you'll have that on the low side, and then you have your 2.5 inch on the high side. Now here you'll see that it's also pole mountable, which is great. It does have a 2-channel mixer we're going to talk about in a few moments. And also it is a Class D amplifier. That just basically means it's rated a certain way in order to handle the power more efficiently. This particular speaker does not need a fan, as you can see. It doesn't need to worry about any fan noise or moving parts to break down on you. And if it breaks down, then you have to get it replaced potentially, or be careful on how hard you drive it. So you don't have to worry about that in this particular case. So I'm going to show you the back panel here in just a second, in order to let you see what kind of connections you're going to have. Now you'll see that from the connection standpoint, towards the top, you'll see the combo jacks. You'll have 2, and then you have a mix out or a direct out on the far right. Right above it, you have 2 knobs. Starting from the left, you'll have your channel 1 volume going from left to right, meaning for line level as low as possible, going all the way up to dead center, 12 o'clock at 0. And you got a little bit of boost there, and you can turn it far past that if you have just a mic input in case you need to. My suggestion is start out at the 0 dB or the 12 o'clock position, and then go from there based upon your input or your output needs. Same thing with the second channel. It's just a duplicate, so you can have 2 different inputs. And then on the top right, you'll see a button there that's for the EQ setting. You can dip it in case you're going to have a subwoofer paired with it, and you can leave it out if you want to have just that bass to come through it if it's a standalone speaker. Based upon your type of venue, based upon your type of music or event you're playing, you can set it accordingly. Not very complicated, very simple. The other connection there, the other button there is for your polarity. So you can push it in or switch it out as need be. On the lower left side, you'll see your power connection, standard 3-prong. And on the far right, you'll see your power switch. Very simple, very effective. Now there's a few more specs that you can look at here in regards to the speaker. The main thing I wanted to point out over here is the weight of this particular speaker. It's actually not very bad at all. It's about 26 pounds, 11.9 kilograms for those who measure in kilograms. And if you see here the frequency response up towards the top there, you'll see it's going from 54 to 20 hertz. Sorry, 54 hertz to 20 kilohertz, excuse me. And the frequency range also is going to be at roughly 48 hertz to roughly 22 hertz. So that in itself is going to give you a good range of sound. Now, push these speakers pretty hard, and what I've noticed is that when you really push some bass to it, you can hear the flex of the speaker. So I had to back off the sound a little bit, but you can definitely clearly hear when they're being overworked. So you might want to be careful. Now, if you're a DJ or something like that, you can probably see the back of the speakers to check for clipping. That'd be great. If you're not going to be able to see that, from your position of, say, your front of house or your monitor mix area, wherever your mixer is located compared to your speakers, you definitely want to pay attention to the sound. These can produce a lot of great highs, and the lows itself are decent, but you don't want to overflex it and blow them out, because you can do it very easily if you're not careful, with these or any other speakers for that matter. Now, in regards to the rest of the TS310 series, there are a number of other speaker types, or rather speaker sizes. And you see they have an 8-inch, they have a 12-inch, and a 15-inch. Now, I would say you want to buy the speakers according to your needs. If you're going to do setups with subs primarily, the 8s and the 10s will do you just fine. Or if you're going to do it as wedge monitors, the 8s and 10s will do just fine. If you're not going to use the sub primarily, you don't want to worry about a sub. You want to at least try the 12, but you might want to consider doing the 15 just to handle that amount of bass that you may be pushing through, especially if you don't plan to ever carry a sub. Just saying. It's just going to make for a much better sound overall. Now, 10s and the 12s are the 10s are going to sound different from the 12 in that respect, and the 12 is going to sound different from the 15 respectfully, based upon the speaker size, and the weight goes up accordingly. So keep that in mind based upon your weight requirements. If you don't want to listen to heavy stuff, 10 to 12 is going to be good. 15 is going to be pushing it a little bit, I guess, just based upon the magnet size of the speaker. So if you have this speaker, or if you have a similar type speaker in regards to the size, the specs, and overall design, I guess you can say, definitely leave some comments and let us know what you think about what we have here compared to what you have and what you use, why you made the decision to buy those speakers. And for the price of these speakers, it definitely is very friendly to the pocket compared to some of the other brands that have similar specs. So do some comparison shopping, go to your local shops, check them out, listen to them if you can. If you're not able to, go ahead and make a purchase. We'll leave a link below on where you can find them. If you do make a purchase on the site, it does help out this channel, so definitely consider that in your purchasing needs or your purchasing process. And if you decide that you don't like them, you can always return it and get something else. So we always appreciate your feedback or comments on these and other speakers of the same category. Nothing way out there. Please let us know what you think of those, and we'll be happy to entertain any comments and questions. We definitely appreciate any communication you'd like to share with us. So until next time, stay tuned and stay blessed.